Coming up on Mountain News this morning, the Commonwealth showed solidarity with veterans yesterday as folks throughout the state celebrated their service.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday. My name is Amelia Lee, and today is November 12th. The time almost 6 o'clock. We're about a minute away from that. It's also time to check in with meteorologist Megan Dusmal. Megan, it's been colder than it has in the past. I'm happy about that. I know some folks out there are not as excited, so maybe get a hot cup of coffee, bring a jacket, be prepared. But should we bring a rain jacket as well, or is it more just layers today?
It's more just that layers type of vibe, maybe a sweater, but not a raincoat, not even a rain jacket or an umbrella. And as we look at satellite and radar, you can see we're starting the day off clear, and it'll continue to be clear. Maybe just a little bit of clouds as you're heading to western Virginia, but it should clear out by the time 11 a.m. rolls around, leaving all of the afternoon nice and sunny to accompany those temperatures, which are a little on the cool side. This morning, we're going to see temperatures in the 40s. There are some places a little bit cooler. Williamsburg 39, and Monticello is a little bit warmer at 50 degrees. Now those high temperatures, that's going to be in the upper 50 range. So even though it seems a little bit cooler and you might have that sweater on, remember that if you are outside, it's going to be completely sunny, so you might feel some heat from that sun, but once you get into the shade, that's when you might feel that coolness start to creep back on you. So dress appropriately for today. A sweater is probably the way I would go. But as you're heading off to the bus stop today, the temperatures as you're heading to school will be about 45 degrees. That sun won't be rising just quite yet, but hopefully you'll get some sun. And as we continue into that lunch hour, you'll see that sun peek through entirely, 55 degrees and 58 by the time you're heading home. Amelia?
All right, Megan, thank you. More than 100 veterans and community members spent the morning in Allen celebrating the grand opening of Floyd County's new Veterans Cemetery. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has a look at yesterday's dedication.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's light?
A ceremony celebrating the people who sacrifice and serve.
A lot of moving parts, a lot of folks had a hand in making this a reality for our veterans locally, and it's an honor to be a part of this because I know the importance that this cemetery represents to our veterans and their families.
The grand opening of Floyd County's Willard Kinzer Veterans Cemetery brought community members to the Allen area Monday. Spending Veterans Day on the site that is now set aside for area veterans to plan their final resting place, including the man whose name and legacy inspired the development.
He is what everybody sees him to be. He's been the best father that a man could ever have.
World War II veteran and longtime businessman Willard Kinzer attended the event, with his family saying it is an honor to see the space celebrate the 96-year-old's legacy while he is still by their side.
It turned out in the beginning, we didn't know what to expect, but it's far past our expectation.
They say the cemetery, which organizers called Eastern Kentucky's mini Arlington Cemetery, based on the plans for how the plots will be placed and what the tombstones will look like, will be on land Kinzer donated, and will keep his story alive when he is no longer able to share it.
The one thing he's had above anybody I've ever known is the best attitude about whatever's going on. Be it good or be it bad, he has the best attitude that he can.
Judge Executive Robbie Williams says that attitude, paired with Kinzer's community investments, made him the perfect candidate to be the cemetery's namesake.
The list goes on, and he's one of those folks, he doesn't like to talk about it. He doesn't, you know, that's not why he does it.
With more developments planned for the property as it works to honor all those who answered the call.
With liberty and justice for all.
In Floyd County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
The cemetery is located behind the Beaver Valley Golf Course on the same property as the Floyd County Shrine Club. Those in the United States Honor Guard who guard the tomb of the unknown soldier are known as the Old Guard. And we talked to one of them yesterday here in Eastern Kentucky. Alvin Gross graduated from Breathitt County High School in 1956 before serving in the U.S. Army from 1961 to 1964. He says those chosen for the Honor Guard must have a particular stature.
They wanted everything so precise, it's just like one person going through it. They just wanted to hear one heel click out of 3 and one slap of that rifle. And
Gross lives in War Creek in Breathitt County, and he will be 87 in January. Folks from Breathitt County kicked off Veterans Day with a parade on Main Street yesterday. The parade was led by the Jackson Police Department and followed by the Jackson Fire Department. People lined up to wave at the county veterans. Deborah Miller says it is important to remember Veterans Day as more than just a day off of school and work.
I think that we need to honor our veterans. They preserve our freedom. And they do so many sacrifices for the American people, and I think we just need to honor them.
Miller says she takes the day to remember her father, who was a veteran. Although he did not die in combat, she still honors his service. A celebration of patriotism took place in Louisville yesterday at St. Louis Cemetery. Governor Beshear was among those attending the event. And the Veterans Day ceremony honored 16 black veterans who served in the Civil War and World War I.
So today, our focus is on the Kentuckians who answered the call to serve in the nation's armed forces. We honor those who fought on our behalf and in our defense. We thank those who sacrificed their time, their health, and yes, even their lives. And we pray for those who continue to serve.
Soldiers who were buried in unmarked graves were recognized for the first time. More than 1,000 black veterans are believed to be buried at St. Louis Cemetery. Construction is underway in Winchester for the city's Korean War and World War II memorials in downtown. The Clark County Veterans Council came up with the idea 20 years ago, and right now there are statues behind the Clark County Courthouse to honor World War I and Vietnam veterans. However, there are only plaques to recognize those who served in other wars. The council felt that World War II and Korean War fallen soldiers deserve the same level of recognition.
We have 19 soldiers that got killed in Korea and 77 in World War II, and from just this community.
A dedication date for the memorials has been pushed back twice because of funding issues. The Veterans Council is accepting donations to fund the project. They also say anyone who wants to honor someone at the memorial can buy an engraved brick for $100. Dogs are man's best friend, and for veterans, they can be a life-saving friend. The Department of Veterans Affairs says 7% of veterans will experience PTSD. And for those who served in conflicts that century, that number is 15%. Dogs for Valor is a Kansas-based organization that trains dogs to help manage their owners' symptoms like depression and anxiety. Many veterans come to the program on edge and afraid to be in public spaces.
A lot of times the veteran with severe PTSD is, homebound. They're isolated, they're very nervous, they won't make eye contact, some won't leave the house at all. And by the end of the service dog program, they're coming out with their dogs.
The training program lasts for 6 to 9 months, but many veterans continue to attend group gatherings. Some say their family relationships have also improved since working with Dogs for Valor.
While we had a cool start to the morning with those temperatures in the 40s, we will luckily be warming up, but not by too much, as our high temperatures today really are just going to be in the upper 50s, with some places hitting that 60-degree mark. So it's going to be a cooler day, maybe a sweater day for you out there while you're planning out your outfits. But what does tomorrow look like? Well, luckily it's going to be a little bit warmer. You see those winds shift from coming from the north to coming from the south, and we're seeing the warmer temperatures associated with that. Really looking at the mid-60s for most of the area, so it'll be a nice change as we're going into your Wednesday, but we will be cooling down once again for your Thursday. But let's take a look at that satellite and radar. We're staying nice and dry today, and that will be the story. We see some clouds out to our east, and by the time we're heading out, it'll be nice and dry. And as you go out this afternoon, you continue to see those sunny and clear skies with those temperatures. Amelia?
Thank you, Megan, and thank you for joining Mountain News this morning. More news is on the way. Just ahead, senators and representatives are heading back to Capitol Hill today as they scramble for a last-minute session before the president-elect's inauguration.